The Honourable Member from Winnipeg Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm honoured today to speak on behalf of the NDP to honour a great human being, a mentor and a hero who had this profoundly kind and wise ability to cut through colonial noise, to shine the truth on Canada's colonial history. A daunting task at a time where there is growing denialism about the horrors and genocide that occurred at the residential schools. He listened to their stories, and he internalized and carried the pain of thousands of survivors, defending and honoring their truths, which he shared with the rest of the world. But he knew that reconciliation and decolonization of Canada would be met with obstacles. Yet he never quit, moving forward to help everyone across Canada to develop a collective understanding of truth, calling out those in power to act and reflect to ensure that truth would shine through the darkness. As he stated in an interview with Brett Forrester in January 2021, in quotes, "The people who believe that they have privilege of holding power and should continue to have that privilege, they're going to push back," he said. "They're going to fight against reconciliation. They're the deniers of the story. They're going to say that it never happened, that the schools were all about education, and the Indians should be thankful that they got an education." And he went on to say, schools were never about education. Schools were always about forced assimilation and indoctrination, and we need to call it for what it is. He persisted in his calls for us to do better, to reflect on how our need to protect our own privilege and power impeded on our ability to reconcile in this country. And he did it in a way to help build a collective understanding of the colonization of Canada. And I'm truly grateful to him for his strength to share truth, especially for survivors that continue to suffer in silence as a result of the abuses they experienced in the schools. He gifted Canada with a path, 94 calls to action to lead towards reconciliation. And we have that path forward that he provided to us based on the gifts of stories provided by survivors. It's now up to us to honor his legacy by taking actions that will lead to reconciliation. In addition to his role as the chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, he served in many prominent roles, including sitting on the Canadian Senate and as the co-commissioner on the Aboriginal Justice Inquiry, a public inquiry that was commissioned by the Manitoba government to explore the failure of the justice system regarding the murder of Helen Betty Osborne and the death of J.J. Harper. In his role as co-commissioner, he revealed unapologetically the systemic racism within the Manitoba justice system and provided a path forward to improve its relationship with Indigenous peoples, something that has never been actualized, and something that he never stopped fighting for. In 2021, after the killing of Aisha Hudson, a 17-year-old Indigenous girl, at the hands of the Winnipeg City Police, he called out the Independent Investigation Unit on its lack of transparency regarding police misconduct, stating, in quotes, "I don't have a lot of faith in the Independent Investigation Unit that's in place right now to look into police conduct, and I can't think of an instance where they've truly done a transparent, thorough investigation that has convinced me that their decision is the right one in the circumstances." He was a model of courage and truth-telling and a role model to me, reminding me to always be truthful, even in the face of adversity, to lead with humility and kindness, to not attach myself to power and privilege. Instead, to support a collective effort to fight for a better world for all people. He was a human rights defender who I personally had the honor to know, him and his family. He was always a truly humble and kind man who always took time to make sure that anyone he spoke to felt special, including me. Sometimes when I was around him and he would ask me how I was doing and I would fill him in, I really felt that he was proud of me, and that meant a lot to me. That's a rare gift, and that was a rare gift that he had. He had this way of making everyone he met feel special and loved. He was a tremendous listener and protector, and it felt a little safer in the world knowing that this wonderfully kind and brilliant human had my back. We lost our Martin Luther King. He changed the world one truth at a time and brought everyone along with him. To our community, I know many of us are hurting with tremendous grief, and we must take the lessons that he taught us and honor him through action. To his family, I thank you for sharing him with us. As a public servant, I know it comes at great cost to families and children. I want you to know that I'm here for you during this time of need. And to my brother Nigon, I love you. I will be here for you like you've always been here for me. Because like your father, Nigon, you are truly a gift to the world. On behalf of the NDP, I send my deepest condolences to the family of the Honourable Murray Sinclair. May he fly high with our ancestors until we meet again.